Hi everyone, my name is Val Tessamore. This is my Module 1 presentation. A little bit about me. I went to St. John's in '05. I got a BA in Communications. After St. John's, I was offered a sales media positions at Katz Media in New York City. I didn't really enjoy sales. It was not my passion. So I went back to school and I got my master's in counseling from Fordham in New York City in 2010. I am now licensed in New York and New Jersey to work as a school counselor. I currently work at Livingston High School as a school counselor, and before that, I work at Union High School as a school counselor for 7 years. Some personal information about me. Please call me Val. My real first name is Teresa, but I prefer to be called, which is my middle name, which is Val. I grew up in New York City, but I currently live in New Jersey. I love to travel the world. I have a great European trip booked for summer 2023. Besides traveling the world, my other favorite hobbies are running, listening to music, going to live concert, shopping, reading. My favorite sport is tennis, but I don't play. Currently, I am watching the Australian Open, and I have a 10-year-old niece that I absolutely adore. I don't have any kids, but she is like my child. She actually just celebrated her 10th birthday, and I love to stay on top of current events. So now onto the presentation. So here's my critical analysis. So when we think about positive school culture, positive school culture is really a space where staff, students, and family, a space where they could feel connected, a space where they can feel supported. It also involves in ensuring that every student learning needs are met. It is also a place where our teachers should have enough time to plan their lesson. Educators should have access to opportunities for collaboration and mentoring, and all students should always feel welcome and feel safe and engaged in their learning. Some of the benefits of a positive school cultures are it really decreases absences. We start to see lower absences when kids feel that their school culture is caring and is very supportive of them. Improve educational equity. So let's create programs like SEL programs to really ensure that students are treated fairly and receive the resources that they need to achieve. Also reduces bullying. Anti-bullying campaigns are really effective when they include school-wide training and awareness, classroom instruction, and activities and intervention. We also start to see an increase in performance, such as increase in grades, increase in GPA, test scores, graduation rate, connection between educated and their peers, positive school behavior, improving attitude towards themselves, school, and towards others. When we think about inclusive, supportive school culture, so we should always make sure that everyone feels safe and welcome in an inclusive school culture, that all the students help each other out, staff should be able to collaborate with each other, our students and our staff and students treat one another with respect. There is a partnership between staff and parents. It is a partnership. At my presentation, I always like to tell my parents that it takes a village to raise their kids. So it is a partnership between the school, myself, and the parents and the students. Staff and governors work together, and all local communities are involved in the school. Some information on inclusive values. So here are some indicators. There are high expectations for all students. There should always be high expectations for all students. Our staff, governors, students, and parents should share a philosophy of inclusion. So we all should believe in inclusion. All students are equally valued. We should not value one student more than other because of their race or their religion, etc. Students and staff treat one another as human beings. Staff seeks to remove barriers to learning and participation in all aspects of the school, and the school should always strive to minimize discriminatory practices. In an equitable school culture, culturally responsive learning are built for every student. And every educator in the school community need to demonstrate that they're warm, they're compassionate for their students, and they always show understanding for the students and their families, regardless of where they're from. We need to make sure that we provide opportunities for our students to engage with the members of the community who come from different cultures and background in themselves. Sometimes students, try to engage with just within their circle. We need to teach them to start engaging with other people. We need to create a learning environment in which adults and students are comfortable engaging in conversations about, cross-cultural differences, racism, and systemic oppression. In future slides, I'm going to talk about a great program that we have at our school where students and staff will come together and have those kind of discussions. We need to ensure that all students and families have technological access that they need to support learning outside of school. Some steps towards building an equitable school culture. Build the school culture of your school on an institutional level. Ritualize meeting space. Prioritize a shared vision and language. Establish norms that create a brave space. Always create a space where kids are comfortable. Practice a culture of micro-affirmations. Hide and retain diverse faculty staff. And I always say that when I got hired at Livingston about 5 years ago, I was one of like 4 person of color that got hired. That's when the district just started to become a little bit more diverse. And right now, population is changing over the years. And lastly, engage in storytelling. How do we respond? Responsive school culture. What can we do? Match classroom instruction to cultural norms for social interactions. When asking questions or giving directions, let's wait for students from the different cultures to enhance classroom participation in the development of critical thinking, because sometimes it takes them a little bit longer to answer those questions. Be sensitive to cultural shifts. Okay, so when parents are making moves, sometimes they don't always know about, the American culture. So let's be sensitive to that. Help the parents gain the skills that they need to learn about the American school system. As counselor, I get students from all different backgrounds. I actually have a new student starting actually tomorrow, who's coming from China, and the students they don't speak any English, so I have to really be patient to kind of help that student navigate our high school tomorrow, and use cultural responsive and respectful approaches in character education, social skill instruction, and discipline. Some critical reflection. So at Livingston High School, we developed a program called Community at Livingston High School. The program started last year. Let me move up myself a little bit over here. So our community program started last year. It is once a month. We have community. It is an advisory program. It's one period in which students met. We meet in groups. It's 2 faculty, where the 2 faculties are facilitators. We provide supports to help students navigate challenges of their everyday life, such as, racism, some of the things that I talked about earlier, and microaggression and things like that. So the goals of community is really to help develop students socially, emotionally, and academically, and foster students to students and student to staff relationship. We really want to try to increase those relationships and also strengthen equity across the building. So that's really the goal of community. I'm really enjoying community this year. Inclusive support school culture at Livingston. Inclusive support is being provided throughout our entire district from pre-K to grade 12, and our school have now an equity group. So the equity's goal is to seek and improve the culture in the community of our school by enhancing inclusiveness, cultural awareness, anti-racism, acceptance of individual differences through mandated curricula and extracurricular programs. So all of our extracurricular program now includes all of that in there as well. So our goals for the equity team is really to work with teachers to make instruction more responsive to diversity and also include more of different culture. The team also work to strategically implement professional development. So we have a lot more professional development nowadays based around that focus more on diversity and anti-racism and cultural inclusivity. So that is across district. It is being taught in the classroom from grades K to 12. So it is a common language that we are using across the entire district. Responsive school culture. So our school is really committed to equity, diversity, and inclusion. So as part of the work that we're doing this year as a school community, we are currently in the process of actually creating an equity club. The club is going to have an advisor who will facilitate student leadership development to support centered around awareness and understanding of equity. The club is not yet built, but it is in the process. Okay, I'm excited to see what this club is going to look like. I actually run a club myself, which I just I was helping out with giving names of students who I think would be a good leader for that club. How does the culture at my school compare to contrast to what we learned from the research? We receive incredible feedback from our community in regards to the equity team. So the equity team actually been contacted by community members who were interested. So they created an affirmative group, which is a group of people sharing a common interest or goals. They work together also to make changes in our community. So members of that community group made specific requests, such as the LBTQIA group, AAPI, BIPOC group. So we welcome Community Affinity Group as part of our work in the equity, inclusion, anti-racism. Through our community program and the Student Equity Club, we're creating safe space and increasing empathy and community and understanding and respecting differences. We're collaborating on best practices in the area of equity and diversity. We design structures, events for community engagement over the year to create more inclusion to our environment, and we're continuing to build more of an inclusive school community. To continue to examine school practices and program for equity, we want to educate our staff about equity practice and education. We are coaching our educators on racism and inclusion in the classroom. We're enhancing inclusivity, cultural awareness, and acceptance in individual differences through social emotional learning, lesson and extracurricular activities, and professional development. We are planning school-wide events to engage all students and staff in practices that create a safe community. Some concluding statement: this assignment absolutely correlate with the standards. I think the resources that were provided really focus on school culture, diversity, and equity and inclusion. As educators, we know how important it is to have positive school culture. So this assignment really gave me an opportunity to research and evaluate the positive culture at my school. I'm a big advocate for inclusive school culture. So our district created a school budget that really allocate funds, for professional development and creating extracurricular activities. So I'm really looking forward to learning more about that in this course. This assignment is absolutely relevant to my current learning as a school counselor in my future role. I know how important school culture is, so this really took me back to my multicultural class in counseling that I had in grad school. So as educator, we know it's important that this work is really important, especially when working with students and family from different diverse backgrounds. And I think Livingston is really doing a great job for a district that's becoming more diverse. So the district has been doing a really, really good job incorporating their equity team. And as a counselor, I'm an advocate for all students always. I hope to provide the same type of support as a future building leader. I've been learning a lot at Livingston, through the equity team. The monthly community lessons that we provide are extremely helpful and beneficial for our students and staff. There are professional development opportunities for our staff on equity, anti-racism, inclusion, and a lot of other instructional tools through coaching from outside organizations. So as a district, we are also working to grow our parent leadership and participation in building wide cultural event. So I'm really, really excited for what's to come and for the future of our district. And I'm excited for all the work that we are doing surrounding this important topic. Here are my resources. Thank you so much for listening, and I look forward to learning a lot more from you throughout this course.